It is budget day. Of course, the federal Liberals will be unveiling their financial blueprint coming up for the next year. That is expected to include everything from tax breaks to investments in dental care and a possible grocery store rebate. We will have full coverage on citynews.ca as well as City News tonight at 5 and 6 as well as 11. But for now, we have a preview of the budget. Joining us live from the nation's capital ahead of lockup is our senior business editor, Mike Eppel. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, morning, Tammie. How are you doing this morning? Got a bit of a silhouette here because of the backlighting. I apologize for that.
That's okay. We see beautiful Ottawa behind you.
That's what's important.
That's what's important. And what you had to say as well, Mike, is important on this budget day. We start off with what we know so far, what's going to come out of the budget today when it's tabled at 4 o'clock.
Look, they're going to talk a lot about the cost of living and this one-time GST rebates related to grocery costs. So that's a one-time item. It's going to cost about $3 billion against the federal books. There's going to be a big focus on clean technology. Already hearing talk about big tax credits for companies getting into mineral processing for electric vehicles. And that's a response to what the Biden administration has done recently on the environment. The other thing is, how much is spending going to be curtailed after 2 years of just billions upon billions of dollars of red ink tied to the pandemic? Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister and deputy PM, says, look, this is going to be a prudent budget, much more, back to basics, if you will. At the same time, however, she's under a lot of pressure because this is a minority government where the NDP is still calling for dental care and all of these other measures to help Canadians deal with the rising cost of living. The problem with that is if you add too much to the spending, then you actually cause inflation. So it's going to be a very interesting balancing act today, Tammie, for this federal budget, which comes out after 4 this afternoon. And of course, we'll have all the details on it later today.
Okay, and something else that we're getting reports on when it comes to restraint and trying to pull back spending, pulling back government spending when it comes to travel and those types of expenditures. What do you hear about that?
That's another thing that the Trudeau government has spent a lot more on over the past several years than previous governments, specifically consultants. McKinsey and Company has been in the forefront of that of late. And the Globe and Mail's reporting this morning, the budgetary spending could be curtailed by about $7 billion over 5 years. Sounds like a big number, but in a budget where you're talking about billions upon billions of dollars being spent, it's actually not that much, but it's more of a significance in as much as it's a signal, I suppose, from the government that they are trying to rein things back just a little bit.
All right. And one interesting note here, as well as the government is trying to help people who may be of lower income and who may be subject to these predatory loans. There is this announcement that is expected about capping some of those interest rates and controlling just how much these companies can charge when it comes to those types of loans.
That would not be a surprise considering how much we've heard about people needing or going to payday loan lenders because of, again, inflation, having to pay the daily bills and not having enough money to do so. So they're going and finding any way at all to borrow money. And if there's no restrictions on the percentages that you're paying on those loans, that can just go up exponentially in a very quick way. So you might want to see some caps on what those payday loan interest rates are. Another thing I'll be watching today as well, Tammie, do they do anything with the beer tax? There's been a big campaign on radio and TV about curtailing the beer tax, which is set to go up, along with the carbon tax on April 1st. Some rumors that the beer tax might not be going up by the prescribed 6.3% that it was set to go up at the end of this month.
Yeah, the most it's gone up in about 40 years, of course, due to inflation.
It's set to inflation, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay,
so they might just scale that back.
And so we'll be watching out for that as well. And a lot of people will be taking a closer look to see about that. What's being billed is that grocery rebate. Again, that top up to the GST rebate that we'll have here. So, Mike, you'll be in lockup. You're heading there in what, about a couple of hours in lockup, and we'll have full coverage as well this evening as well as tomorrow morning when you join us again.
Happening just downstairs here, actually, at the Westin in Ottawa, and that we'll talk to you after 4 this afternoon.
All right, perfect. And I promised that there wouldn't be as much applause as you got earlier in the show during our local show, but I do want to give you applause on Budget Day. Sid promised. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Eppel. Budget day.
Thank you very much.
Budget.
Better than a slow cap, right? A slow clap.
All right, Mike, have fun in lockup. Take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.